I want to welcome you to Phil Holton's Woodturning Shop. It's great to have you here with me today. Christmas is coming, and I want to show you a little project that you could make that could be an ornament for your tree. Some of you have told me that maybe some of my projects seem to be pretty complicated, and sorry if I scare you about that. There are all sorts of places to start into wood turning, and it's the same sort of skills that will help you do all of them. But I'm going to show you how to make a little ornament that I think you'll enjoy, and I think this is something you could do with some pretty basic stuff yourself. So I'm going to just show you how to do that. It's got some color to it. It's got some burning, and I think you'll enjoy that. Okay, so what I'm going to do is start over here. Knock out my center here. So I've got a piece of wood that is already mounted on a chuck. That is what I'm going to use to make this tree. So we've mounted this in the lathe. We're going to start with this rough shape. It's held in a chuck, and I'm just going to start a little slowly here. Pick up the speed, and we're going to make the rough shape of an evergreen tree that then we will decorate a little bit so it's even more interesting. So what I'm doing right now, I'm using a gouge. As we know it's balanced, I'm going to pick up that speed just a little bit on this lathe. Okay, so you can see we're starting to develop a little shape here of a tree. I'm going to make it a little taller and more graceful. Okay. And then we'll just make sure this is nice and smooth. I'm going to just smooth it off by going a little more from this angle. Okay, so then I'm going to take a little scraper, and it's a little scraper that I've made a little round shape to. And this wouldn't work with just any kind of wood, but on this hard maple, this is sugar maple, it's pretty hard, so it's going to hold this detail just fine. I'm going to make some fine grooves. Just think about how an evergreen tree is. This is my own design, but you could do it any way you like. So I'm just going to go in here a little bit. Aren't those great shavings coming off there? And I'm going to leave just a little space in between them. Okay, and I'm just going to work my way across here. That sound you hear, that little scream, is called chatter, because it's being suspended out here where it vibrates a little bit. Not so much that it's a problem, but just a little bit. Okay, so we'll just very gently hollow out these grooves. And for that, I'm not just sliding loosely. I've got my hand anchored. So I can control that very carefully. And it's coming along just fine. With lots of other kinds of wood, I'd probably break off that top little piece, and I don't want to do that. Okay, so we'll just keep making these grooves. We're about most of the way there now. We'll just work our way right out to the end. Okay, getting smaller and smaller. We've got about 2 more to do probably here. Then I think the top will round off a little bit. We're going to hang this from a little wire at the top. So I have to make sure I leave enough thickness so that I can drill into the end. And then here at the end, I'm just kind of round it down a little bit. So how does that look so far? I'm going to touch that up with a little sandpaper so we've got a nice smooth edge. Then I'm going to do a kind of an interesting little thing here. I do this a lot with pens with kids, that we're going to take some green color and we're just going to touch that top edge with color. This is really easy to do and gives a pretty cool look to this tree. That doesn't look too hard, does it? Okay. And we'll just put a little green color all the way down there. Then I'm going to take some wire. And this is something you want to be kind of careful of because the wire is going to get hot. So you don't want to touch this wire. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring it over and I'm going to hold it in between these rings. And guess what's going to happen as I pull on it? I'm going to make a little heat and it'll burn a groove in there. Okay, here we go. We'll just keep building that.
Hold on.
Yep.
Start that again.
Okay, we are just going to continue burning these rings. This wire will stay hot between times, so each time it'll heat it up even faster. You can see I'm holding back quite a ways from the middle because that wire is pretty darn hot right now. I have lots of kids that come to my shop that make pens, and they just love to do this, to use the wire and make this burn. So we'll just keep burning a few more of these, not many to go. Not many to go. Oh, I got to burn that one just a little hotter. Okay. Keep burning those down here. I'm going to wrap it just a little further to get a little hotter. The more wire is touching, the hotter it will get. Okay, we're getting there. I think I'll just pick up the speed. It doesn't heat up quite as fast in that smaller diameter. Okay, just about there. Okay, again, be very careful if you do something like that you're not going to touch that end or set this down someplace where it's hot. Okay, now I'm going to take my center out right here, and I'm going to drill a little hole into the end of this so that I can hang this on my tree. We're just going to drill a little hole right in through there. Okay, then I'm going to take a little wire that I've worked on, just a little piece of wire. I've put a little twist on it. I'm going to put a tiny little bit of super glue on it, and I'm going to put it right into that hole. Okay, that'll be great. Okay, now I'm going to go and just dish it out a little bit. I might not quite finish the project, but I'll be very close. So we're just going to so a tree has a trunk. So we're going to just dish this out a little bit. Okay, here we go. We're going to just part this off at the bottom. Almost there, almost there. I think I'm just going to touch up the tree right here and put a little bit right at that bottom ring. I'm going to grab this tree so that it won't fly all over the shop. So here's my finished Christmas tree. Thanks so much for coming to Phil Holton's Wood Turning Shop today.